I'm Ruby Aver. I really appreciate this opportunity to reach out and share my work. I'm sharing work from the last year, so we'll see how much we can cover. It's been an interesting year, as we all know, a lot of opening, and after having closed down with the pandemic, so we're pretty joyful about all our connecting, and that's influenced the work a lot, as well as my background, which I should share with you, because that's a very strong influence. Growing up on the south side of Chicago in the 60s, that really took a lot of grit. It was not really flower power in my neighborhood. It was pretty rough. So that grit is definitely in my work. On the other hand, the last 30 years, I've been teaching Tai Chi and Qigong. So there's that Zen influence, that state of being. And that, to me, is actually more important than process, is that state that I enjoy with Tai Chi and Qigong. I really enjoy with painting as well. And it's very similar. So that is definitely reflected in the work, that sort of marriage of grit and Zen. So for the most part, I like to call my work something like street Zen, if you will. There is some street influence there, which you'll see as well. So we can start, well, this one right behind me has some layering, and I don't put a lot of premeditative thought into my work. I do really go for color first, what I feel like will be inspiring that day, or for a few days of time committed to the painting. And so there's layers of underpainting, and then I just like to put something bold on top of the underpainting often, so that you'll see as a sort of common theme that occurs. I say occur because I don't really premeditate. This is pretty much a kind of spontaneous emotion, which I feel does render a more authentic image for the viewer. So this one is called Diagonal Flying, and so a few of my paintings are named after Tai Chi movements. Diagonal Flying is something like that. Well, you can see going this way. And the experience of energy and movement in Tai Chi, that is a lot of what I'm expressing, that kind of movement and how energy and shape moves with painting. This is, well, probably, has less movement, but so it's quite colorful. This one I call, I have to think because I have so many, it's like remembering everyone's name. This one I call Formal Attire Only. So as you can see, this is more formal, and this has a nice amount of chaos and play in it. So that's how that came about. I'm going to move this over here. Here you can see jazz variations. So I don't specifically listen to music and paint that music. In fact, I prefer quiet when I'm painting. But once the painting was done, I immediately remembered, I get these memories of growing up on the south side of Chicago and hearing that fabulous jazz music even in the streets. So that's Jazz Variations number 1. This is Jazz Variations number 2. So it's just riffing off the first one. This was just a fun piece after having eaten rhubarb pie. This is called Rhubarb Tango. The colors really are my jumping off point, and whatever I've had a big joy in experiencing during the day, then I will head to the studio and explore that color. So that's Rhubarb Tango. This one is Night Vision. When the colors from the day start to simmer down and that shadow starts to come in, it's a special time also because we experience beautiful sunsets here in the Berkshires. Here we have Salsa Verde, which I'm sure everyone has enjoyed at one point, or maybe not, but I enjoy Salsa Verde. And the exploring the different kinds of greens, the outspoken greens, the muted greens, and definitely having fun with movement, that's for sure. I don't move a lot while I'm painting externally, but I feel that inner movement, and that's what I'm expressing here. Little salsa. This one is Ice Cream Castles in the Air, great quote from Joni Mitchell. As I said before, I don't listen to music when I'm painting, but I sometimes have a song on repeat in my head, and that was sort of wonderfully haunting me. So that's Ice Cream Castles in the Air. This is called Peaches and Cream. I do like these, what started showing up, these sort of shapes, hieroglyphics, if you will. I just sort of let them happen because as I'm painting, they just keep popping up, I guess until they're all done. They'll just keep popping up for me. So the difference that I experimented with this painting was the underpainting. The first layer I used an iridescent gold, and that sort of shimmers through here and there. I'm not big on iridescent paint, but I just wanted to experience it, and I do like how it worked in this painting with the stark white and black. This painting is called Secret Garden. You can see these bold images, a little distress, which I enjoy because of the feeling of depth. And in the background, the secret garden, I think we all experience that, the way we present ourselves to the world and the inner life, the maybe more vulnerable that sometimes starts to show itself, but we duly protect. So this is a diptych. These two paintings are meant to be hung together. Not sure I'm lining them up very well. It's not meant to be an exact literal sweep of expression, but sort of indicated that one can move to the next. And that's like in Tai Chi, how we can move seamlessly, that we have one movement flowing into the next. The colors in the background definitely are more muted, and then the bold images on top, they don't have specific meaning, but they're really there for a bold contrast to that, therefore unmuted. This work is called Wind Sweeps the Plum Blossoms, which is actually the name of a movement we do in Tai Chi Sword, which I can demonstrate later. And I just really enjoy doing that movement. It has something quiet. It has a little bit of fire that you see reflected in the orange. The movement also has something, of course, because of the use of sword and the martial art implication. It has something very bold as well, as you see with the black images. And again, these the black shapes, they really don't depict anything literal or specific. This is called Message from the Grapevine for obvious reasons. And I really enjoyed mixing a variety of purples into sort of red maroon against that gray. I really enjoyed that. And even though I don't do this often, I did add a little of the iridescent gold. It doesn't quite show up in this light, but it has something royal to it. So Message from the Grapevine 1 and 2. And this one can be placed either below, or it can be hung to the side, or they can stand alone. But I like them as a pair. I think they're fun together because that increases the movement. And totally abstract, no particular meaning, just more going for the feeling. This work involves 4 canvases, as you see. They're meant to relate to each other. And it's a more quiet piece. I call it scrolling. And hopefully we're all doing less scrolling. But I just really enjoyed going more minimal. I was feeling very quiet that day, maybe because I was scrolling less. And I was getting sort of images in my head of that nice repetition that you feel with bamboo, that texture and structure. And then this movement contrasting the downward to the upward movement of, this is an infinity symbol, but it ended up laying vertical. And the upward movement moving over, to this canvas. And that, not intentionally, but it ended up sort of reminded me of a Buddha footprint with a little nod to its neighbor there. Again, some quieter pieces in this corner. This is more representative of the internal movement when I'm doing my Tai Chi practice. Although it was painted in the summer, so it's called Peaches at Laurel Lake. And I was in a sort of mood to create my own calligraphy, if you will. And I really enjoyed doing that. And its neighbor is Valencia. Just really that last pop of summer before fall. Nice, strong, sunny day was inspiring this painting. This series is called The Opening, so that's the title of all these paper-on-paper collage. I have numbered them, but as individuals there's not a differing title, and they were just some good quiet time. I really enjoyed the white backgrounds for a change. And these were earlier in the year. So all the work that I've been showing is work from the past year. And these were in a very quiet period that they were created. So as I've mentioned, I've been a Tai Chi teacher for the last 30 years. And although we see that nice flowy outer movement, it's really the inner energy body that we experience. And that's where I paint from. So I do enjoy doing more complicated movement, like in the Tai Chi form. We have a lot of beautiful movement that's also based on martial arts, and we have partner practice. So I enjoy all of that, including sword. Sometimes with 2 swords. These swords are cut short because the ceiling is low, but they're double-edged, again embodying a philosophy of sharp and yielding. And it's just really a great pleasure to sort of surrender to gravity and wait for the breath to move one's energy. And that kind of surrendering, I enjoy that state with my painting. So for me, again, it's more about that state than the specific process. There's some people will say something like, you can't really see the fruit by looking at the fertilizer. So I don't go into detail with my artist statement or with how technically I may produce a painting. So to close, let's do you can stand up, we'll do something together. Standing hip width, this is called the horse stance. And we can experience our feet spreading wide and open, growing our roots deep and wide into the middle of the earth. With the inhalation, the knees straighten. With the exhalation, the knees bend. We'll do 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Now with that inhalation and the knees straightening a bit, wrists just floating up. This is called the wave. And the legs pull the arms down. We'll do 2 more of those. Inhale, wrists floating up, shoulders melting. Exhale, fingertips painting the air. Inhale, filling. Exhale, emptying. And for a closing, we inhale to just underneath our chest and exhale, settling our energy down like putting a baby to sleep. 2 more, filling and emptying. Last one, inhale, exhale. Thank you very much.